What is Shadow Moth's obsession with Nino? Can Aya handle the pressure of being Marinette's assistant? I think Adrian is about to hit his breaking point, but you'll have to watch the rest of this video to see why. Hey everyone, welcome to AnimePuffz. I'm your host Wiley, and today I'm going to be talking about Sentibubbler from season 4 of Miraculous Ladybug. So if you like this video, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Share if you care. Follow me on all socials, and please support my Patreon if you can. Okay, as I said in my Optigami review, this episode, Sentibubbler, wasn't exactly my favorite, but I prefer Sentibubbler over Optigami. Optigami just really wasn't hitting for me. I feel like in both episodes they had their highlights, but for me something felt missing. What I'm really starting to notice about this season is that the writing is getting better. However, the comedy of season 1 and season 2 is kind of missing. I think that's what the missing ingredient is to the miraculous gumbo. I just hope that the comedy comes back. But this episode was okay. And it was nice to have an Aya focused episode. So we open up the episode with Marinette eating over at Aya's house, so that's sweet. Aya calls Marinette Ladybug at the table, which kind of freaks her out. And then eventually we see that Chloe, Shadow Moth, and Chat Blanc eventually come over to dinner. And Tiki blames Marinette for giving Aya a miraculous. And we quickly learn that this is a nightmare. This is like one of Marinette's worst fears. So Marinette freaks out. The Kwamis try to reassure her that Aya is trustworthy and she's the right choice to assist Marinette. Marinette doesn't really listen too much, so she races out of her room in search of Aya to get the miraculous back. And Marinette goes to Aya's house, and she thinks that Aya has told her family about Trix and has lost him. But eventually we find out that this is not the case. Aya has not told her family anything, and she actually lost a spider, and the whole family's looking for it. Aya gets a call from Shadow Moth, and Sentibubbler, which is a bubbler senti monster, traps Marinette and Aya's family in bubbles. And Shadow Moth knows that Aya is Rena Rouge and wants her to betray Ladybug. Tiki tells Marinette to trust that Aya can handle the situation, and we witness Aya really taking control of the reins the rest of this episode, and she concocts her own plan to defeat Sentibubbler and Shadow Moth, which we eventually learn she is able to do. So that's awesome. So for the rest of this review, I'm just going to go over some things that stood out to me. For one, I like the fact that, more of Aya's culture was in this episode, so that is awesome. Like, I definitely do see that the show is trying to incorporate more of an effort. So I will celebrate effort when it's being displayed. So I really respect that. We see that, Aya's mother is donning her cultural attire. We see that Aya's mother is cooking her cultural food, so that's awesome. So I really do love that. We see in this episode that Aya is able to handle pressure even though she does get a little nervous. She's very smart, so that's awesome. We do see that Cat Noir gets really sassy with Rena Rouge in this episode, and he is starting to get jealous of Rena Rouge and Ladybug's relationship, which makes sense because he's constantly being left in the dark. But with that, we kind of see yet again Cat Noir is kind of being reset a little bit, because Cat Noir was kind of over not knowing Ladybug's identity in the United Heroes episode, as well as that moment when Master Fu came to visit him and spoke to him. We're kind of going backwards a bit, but this slightly makes sense because now that Cat Noir knows that Rena Rouge and Carapace both know who the other is, it doesn't exactly make sense for Cat Noir and Ladybug not to know each other's identity. Yet again, I still feel like we're skipping steps. I keep feeling like we're going backwards to season 2, but then we're kind of going in a different direction. So these character arcs are just getting really confusing. Again, Marinette has been reset, Chloe has been reset, and now Cat Noir has slightly been reset. And we see in this episode that Cat does not want to sit and do nothing. He doesn't exactly listen to Aya's plan and almost messes things up, but thankfully Marinette is able to stop him. I don't know, y'all, this whole thing is getting a bit wonky because it's like Cat Noir had blind trust and blind faith in Ladybug, so why is it there in some episodes and then in others is not? Like, which way are we going? And we also see in this episode that Cat Noir is starting to get wise to the BS that's in the show, and he kind of calls it out. And we see in this episode that Rena Rouge is able to create a mirage of Ladybug who takes away Aya's Miraculous, so that was a very smart plan. And lastly, one thing that I noticed was that Gabriel / Shadow Moth almost murked Aya's whole family in this episode. So we're seeing this show get a little bit more serious, but let me know what you all think. Do you notice the wonky changes in season 4? Do you think Shadow Moth will leave Aya alone? Or do you think that Aya will get caught as Rena Rouge and Shadow Moth will start harassing her again? But let me know in the comment section. Thank you all so much for watching. Please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Share if you care. Bye bye y'all. Bye y'all.